I'm going to start things off this evening by doing my part to save the environment. This is my collection of empty def jugs. So I read something the other day and I didn't think it was true, so I figured I better do some research and find out the answer. Turns out it is true. And I just asked ChatGPT the same question. Do U.S. military trucks have to use DEF fluid? The answer, U.S. military vehicles, including trucks, typically do not use diesel exhaust fluid. DEF is used in civilian diesel vehicles equipped with selective catalytic reduction systems to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions. However, military vehicles are generally exempt from civilian emissions regulations due to the unique and demanding requirements of military operations. That's your classic, what was that old saying? Rules for thee and not for me.
Woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. Just like a new day, a breath of fresh air in my life. I don't know how and don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life. My boots and briefcase are waiting at the door. My ride sweeter to meet the one I love. I don't know how and don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter the first time around. I'm here and now. I played the dice right and let the good times roll. One knee and one ring, forever it's our show. I don't know how and don't know why, but I'll be toasting all my life.
So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get some stone, and I'd like to get this stone back to the gate. So this evening, I figured I'd get a jump start on things and just kind of rough this in, strip some of the sod off. I need to get rid of all this mess in here, that old river rock. That's why we haven't weeded it. I knew this was coming out, but we're going to redo all this with something nice. I wish I could take a little bit more out of here, but I don't want to get into the roots of that oak tree right there, so we're going to have to go with it the way it is. As you can see, I took almost a foot out right here, but there'll be about 6 inches of stone in there. So it's still going to rise up a little bit, but that's okay. And yeah, it should come out pretty good. Yeah, I started to get some of this old river rock out of here. I'll get the rest of this all cleaned up in the morning. And then I'd like to get it stoned, like I said, back to the gate at least. And then I need to line up a roller before we start stoning the whole road going out to the meadow. But that'll be coming up here pretty soon. I was just looking, wouldn't be the safest thing in the world, but it's kind of a straight shot right to the garage door on the building. We used to have a 50-yard range right here. You could put that bench in the building and have a 100-yard range. No, I'm not going to do that. That was just a joke. But what's not a joke is that military vehicles, like I said at the beginning of this video, they don't have to run DEF fluid, no diesel particulate filters. And I'm wondering what happens when the time comes that they go to auction. I doubt that they will anymore. How could they? Because it would be illegal to sell that to anybody. They'll probably end up crushing them or something. Who knows? What a waste. But anyway, I'll report back tomorrow morning and we'll see how it goes. All right, it is mid-morning. I got kind of a late start today, which I expected because Melissa is out of town. She's visiting with daughter Hannah and grandson Bo. So when she's not around, everything takes a little bit longer. But I'm on my way to the stone yard right now to pick up a load and take back to the house. I'm not ready for it just yet, but I will be in a couple of hours. And by the way, people ask me all the time. Somebody asked again this morning why I call gravel stone. I don't. I call gravel gravel and I call stone stone. There's a difference. Gravel, it's all rock, but gravel is shaped naturally like river rock. It's round from weathering and erosion, whereas stone is shaped mechanically. It's crushed. It has sharp edges. So I am picking up a load of stone. A lot of people call everything gravel, and that's fine. Doesn't matter, but technically there's a difference between the two. So when I say stone, I'm picking up a load of stone. If I'm picking up gravel, it's gravel. It will be like smooth edge, round river rock, stuff like that. So I just ripped that out. It was by the deck. We planted that years ago. We bought it somewhere at a nursery. I don't even know if I knew what it was, but what is it, Levi?
This is a type of privet. There's a few species of privet. None of them are native to North America. So it's probably like a Chinese privet. They go by a lot of different common names: border privet, glossy.
All highly invasive trash.
Yeah, really doesn't provide. I mean, you'll have people make the argument like, oh, well, the bees like it, but the bees that like it are all from over there too. Do you know what I mean? So like, people want to save the bees. Well, you're not doing our bees any good. Do you know what I mean? The bees native to here. So there might be bees on it, but they're likely invasive as well, or non-native, I should say. But yeah, it doesn't provide any benefit. And if you own property, I guess in the East, I don't know what it's like in the West, but you know, this stuff is incredible how it spreads.
It is.
It is so thick, and it's nasty. Nothing can grow through it, and it'll grow to be about 10 feet tall.
It seems the only place we don't have it is in the big woods where the big oaks are and stuff.
Yeah.
Must just be that big canopy. It must need a little bit of sunlight.
Mm-hmm. Usually you'll find it like on edges, you know, like near
down along the driveways.
Grandma's driveway, yeah, stuff like that. Once a little sunlight. It's more of like that's why one of the common names is border privet. I think that's probably why it was sold, is it might be like a nice border or privacy.
Yeah.
And I actually checked. I wasn't sure. I believe this species is banned in Pennsylvania now, along with 3 other privet species.
Little too late.
Yeah. Now I think property owners, especially, and I imagine the Park Service too, like state parks have their hands full trying to get control of it.
Yeah. So Levi's been doing a bunch of shorts on his channel, Tied Up with the Morgans, but he is you know way more about trees and plants than I do. I know firewood and lumber. Levi knows everything. I mean, when it comes to all this kind of stuff. And so I always ask him now before I rip something out, what is this? Should it go away? Should it stay? But you've been planning, like gathering native seeds for different things. Yeah. What are some of the stuff?
I've done that the last couple years, but real small, like milkweed and stuff, you know. But this year I started earlier, and I like different sedges. So parts near my house, there's a lot of natural springs, so some parts can be pretty wet. You can really help that a lot with like different native plants to wetlands, you know. So I have like different sedges that it's like a grass, but it'll grow like 4 feet high, and it's kind of like the things you'd buy at a store, but it's just a native one, and a lot of different stuff, flowers, and then in the fall is where it gets real busy with all the tree seeds, you know.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. It's addicting. If you haven't tried seed collecting, you'll love it. I know you've done it, where you've grown chestnuts and oak trees, but it is, whenever you just pick up a seed that you grew up seeing on the ground, and then you put it in a pot or something, and you see
what was that flower you found down by the pond the other?
Yeah, it's an orchid that's native to here. A lot of the orchids we see are kind of like ornamentals, but it's a really cool orchid, and it's going to go into flower, I think, like in July or August. It's really cool. It really stands out.
They look like something you would pay a lot of money for at a florist.
Yeah, I've been reading about them a lot. A lot of people will put them in terrariums. They're one of the few native plants that you can grow in a terrarium, and it'll thrive. It just needs a little bit of sun, a little bit of moist soil.
Someday you could do a whole series actually on your channel, just walking like from your place up here. Go over the natives, the types of trees, the invasives, everything. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea. Yeah, it is. And that's it too. Like, I grew up in literally these woods, you know, but you just get so used to it. Once you just start to dig and look around, like you think it's just trees, and you start looking at all the understory, all the, you know, the grasses and sedges. There's just so much out there. And then Ty loves it too. He'll always find different bugs and stuff. He's going through a bug phase right now.
So. Is he? Yeah. Bugs and dinosaurs.
Yeah. He always wants to go looking for dinosaur bones when we go outside.
We should go get a bunch of old cow bones or something, just partially bury them all through the woods there.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so check out Levi's channel. I'll put a link in the description, and we're going to get back to work, but we're getting there. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, which I hope it does, actually. We need rain bad.
We never get dust like this.
Food plot out there, it was coming up nice, and it's just kind of dormant right now. It's not dying off or anything, but it needs rain. Yeah, it's just too big to try water and all that. We could start a fire on the edges and then call the fire department or something, you know what I mean? And tell them we need water. All right, we're gonna get back at it. All right, so we got things pretty well cleaned up here. I got a little bit more to do around that oak tree. I've been very careful not to hit the roots. At some point, like this fall though, we need to trim this tree way back. All the limbs, the big limbs, are on this side right here. Eventually, it's gonna get so big it's gonna have to come down, but it's a great tree and I wanna keep it as long as I can. But yeah, this looks way, way different than it did before. I don't know exactly yet what we're gonna put in here. Hey, Hunter. But I think it's gonna have to be river rock again. With the chickens, I don't know what else we can do. I really don't. Because they will tear up about everything. But this is all gonna be a lot smaller. If you remember, we had a tree, couple trees right here, that dead cherry tree. Yeah, boy, it looks so different in a good way. So have you ever seen a rock like this? Or one like this here. These are seashell fossils. This came from central Pennsylvania, near Lewistown, PA. Years ago, I was working on a big road job out there and I was a blaster, and these were everywhere. Now what was interesting about that job in that area is all the rocks stood on edge, like vertically. Around here, all our rock is horizontally bedded, so you have different layers as you go down. But out there, at some point, everything was pushed up on edge. These ones were at one time the bottom of the ocean. Well, when I found them and I blew them up, they're at the top of a cliff, if that makes sense. Now this other rock with a perfect 3.5-inch hole in it, that right there is a blaster's prized possession. I don't know why, but we would all kind of gather these up once in a while, wrestle them into the back of the truck and bring them home. But that hole is a 3.5-inch bore hole from when we were blasting, and occasionally you would find some, normally near the surface, that would still have holes in them. If this was deeper in the ground, it would have been shattered in hundreds of pieces, but this was in the area of the borehole towards the surface, and that's what you end up with. So if you ever see a boulder with a perfect hole in it, you know why. You probably already did know why, but if you didn't, now you do. Well, that ought to give us some idea how much stone we're going to need for this road, and it's going to be a lot. This is just the base rock right here. On top of this will be 2A limestone, but this right here was 4 ton, and we have about 900 feet to go out and around the bend and out to the meadow. It's going to take quite a bit. But like I said, I am going to get a roller lined up because I want to roll this in, and then we'll put the 2A limestone on it, roll that in as well. But what I'll probably do is make a spot out at the end to turn the dump trailer around. Yeah. Dump triaxle loads over there where my truck is, load the dump trailer, and come on out with it. I think that'll be best. Yeah, should work out good. I got a load of 2A limestone this morning, and you know, we had a little bit of rain today, not near what they're calling for. Rain for maybe 5 minutes, barely enough to knock the dust down. But anyway, I got the entrance done for the road. I think I mentioned before, I'm gonna line up a roller, you know, like a rental, and then I'll start ordering triaxle loads of stone, probably in the next, within the next 3 or 4 days. We should have that all lined up. It's all going to depend on the roller. It would be great if we did have a little bit of rain when I got the stone. If you roll that 2A limestone, that stuff's down to dust. When it's a little bit wet, it really packs really, really well. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. Before I wrap this up, though, I wanted to mention, if you are interested, sign up for our newsletter. Go to outdoorswiththemorgans.com. There will be a pop-up that comes up. Just enter your email and you will be signed up for our newsletter. I think that's about it. We'll catch you on the next one.